So question 1, when someone cuts you off in traffic, do you A, honk the horn, scream out the window? Do you B, as soon as you can, you're pulling off that highway, you stop at the next drive-thru and you treat yourself to something to de-stress? C, do you think to yourself, oh my God, what did I do? Maybe it's my mistake. Oh, I heard some Question 2, you find out a close friend said something nasty behind your back. A, you rage over text. I'm raising my hand on that one. B, you go shopping because you need some retail therapy. C, you wonder if what she's saying has some truth to it. Maybe you aren't a good friend. You start to question yourself. Question 3, when you walk into a messy kitchen filled with your loved one's dishes, do you scream, why am I the only one cleaning around here? B, do you start doing the dishes for them? C, do you blame yourself and say, well, maybe I should have been clearer that I wanted these clean? Now, that's it. Simple quiz. We're going to learn a lot, though. Raise your hand if you answered mostly A's. Yep, me too. Your anger type is explosive. Right, Christine?
Oh, yeah.
Keep it together since I'm next to you, okay? Welcome, Christine, here. So, Christine, can you describe what explosive anger means for you?
Well, absolutely. First of all, being Italian, we have this passion about everything, and whether it's good, bad, indifferent, upside down, inside out. So passion with anger, and literally the heat rises.
I know what you're talking about, and I'm not even Italian.
And then it becomes so intense, sometimes water starts coming out of my eyes. I start tearing. In my 20s, I used to throw glass. I used to break plates until it got too expensive. And I said, okay, we got to reconfigure this. And then acknowledging it. I acknowledged it, but you could feel the heat, the warmth is so intense, and you could see it.
Now, when it comes, because I see you've got a bunch of rings on here. You're married. So what does your husband do when he sees the explosion coming?
He just shuts up. He keeps quiet.
Smart man.
He keeps, 27 years of marriage.
There you go, congratulations.
You kind of,
So I have a question for you. Do you consider yourself a bit of a control freak?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, I'm not surprised, because if you happen to have explosive anger, you usually have a need to be in control, okay? So raise your hands. Let's move on to B if you were mostly a B, right? Okay. So Priscilla, oh, look at you. She's like literally looking down. Okay. So if you answered mostly B's, your anger type is avoidance. Your lip is shaking. Are you nervous? Are you angry at me? Are you
avoiding you?
You're avoiding me? Oh, what did I do? So how do you handle your anger?
I shop.
You shop?
Yes. I shop a lot. I go to vintage stores and I spend all day shopping. And I can't afford to shop, but I do.
Well, you look really nice.
Thank you.
I don't know if you bought the outfit when you were angry, but you look
I
really
did.
good. She bought the outfit when she was
Yes, I
angry.
did.
So do you feel like you like to avoid confrontation?
All the time.
Huh.
All the time.
Well, that goes hand in hand with this kind of anger. When you get angry, you don't face it, you avoid it, and you're distracting yourself by shopping.
Yes.
Gotcha. Interesting. Raise your hand if you answered mostly C's. Okay. Your anger type means you're internalizing the anger. Okay, we got Ruby right here, and that's your anger type. Can you describe what is that internalized anger? How does that show up for you?
So typically when I get really upset about something, I usually just try to keep it in instead of having an explosive angry moment or and with shopping or something like that. I just push it down and I try to control it. And at times it just bottles up and my subconscious is there, but I black out. There's times
Black out?
I don't physically fall to the ground, but I won't remember what had happened.
You're kidding.
No.
So at the age of 47, you get your dream job, and now you're about to give it up? What happened?
I did get my dream job at 47. I don't want to give it up, but having to raise my grandson due to unforeseen circumstances, I can't, gauge him, weigh him against having a career. Of course, he's going to trump everything.
Your grandson.
My grandson.
Yeah. So, in that video, Jedediah talked about how he hates it when you say that you feel like you dropped the ball
He does.
as a parent.
He does.
So, do you say that?
But yeah, I do, because I genuinely feel I did.
How do you feel like you dropped the ball?
Well, growing up, and I experienced a lot growing up, so I witnessed my mom go through a lot of domestic violence, physical abuse, emotional abuse, and it just wasn't good with me. And I guess as a little girl, it impacted me. So what I did, I vowed not to go through what she went through. I'm not going to be beaten by any man. I'll die before I do that.
That's worth a round of applause.
I wanted to be married. I wanted to have that family. So I pretty much took the first thing smoking and married their children, my children's father. There was infidelity where it took me for a whirlwind of like, I don't want to do this. My world was over. I don't want this baby. I don't want him. He hurt me so bad. But, we reconciled and had 2 more beautiful babies. Here's one. And years later, after being, knowing myself, after coming to know myself and know who I was, I didn't want it anymore. So that's why I feel like I dropped the ball, because I started helping my children, but I was actually enabling them. I didn't, hold my son accountable for his actions. After the divorce, he spiraled, self-destruction path. He was an all-star American athlete, very gifted and talented. I mean, he had offers for private high schools, for football scholarships, everything. But he was the one that actually was affected through the divorce.
So your oldest son spiraled
Yes,
during the divorce.
totally.
So what happened? Because he's in jail now, right?
Well, he's actually not. He was just released. It started from middle school into high school. Little things like trespassing, getting into trouble with the wrong crowd, smoking weed, bringing paraphernalia to school, trying to sell it. Anything and everything they could have called me for, they did.
He was acting out.
He was acting out. And I feel...
Do you blame yourself?
Exactly. Because it was my decision to leave the marriage. Maybe if I would have stayed, none of this would have been going on.
So Jedediah, the whole audience is like, absolutely. But Jedediah, you are shaking your head, no, 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 no. So what do you want to say?
If you wouldn't have left a situation you weren't happy in, you would have been unhappy no matter what. So you did something for you that you felt like you had to do to make yourself as a human happy, because you are human first.
You don't see that, though.
Now, at the time, no. Like, there's nothing that no one could have said to me to make me feel like it wasn't my fault.
You're really hard on yourself.
Well, a lot of people tell me that, but, I try my best. Raising kids does not come with a manual. I've done everything under the sun to try to feed them, including stealing meat to, have dinner. I used to, buy little gifts for their birthday and Christmas and sign their father's name to it, just so they wouldn't be hurt.
Did you realize how hard it was for your mom, Jedediah?
She's very good at everything's fine, I'm okay. You would not be able to tell if anything was wrong. So it was very hard for me to gauge is she okay? Is anything going on? She was excellent at putting on that mask, don't look over here. Everything's fine.